Today, less than a month from the release of the 1000-Year Blood War Arc anime Part 3, we finally have some new information, plus a very brief teaser trailer has been dropped as well. So let's take a look at everything on show here. I don't think this is going to be a particularly long video, considering this teaser is merely about a minute long, but who knows. However, first and foremost, we finally have the confirmed release date for the 1000-Year Blood War Arc anime Part 3. The first episode, which is episode 27 in total, releases Saturday the 5th of October. So that means we are indeed less than a month away, which is very exciting and kind of hard to believe. It feels like it's snuck up out of nowhere somewhat. All of this information, by the way, comes courtesy of a new Crew Be Inside stream where they're talking about the anime and Bleach Rebirth of Souls, which I haven't had a chance to watch yet, so I'm kind of playing catch-up. A small aside, you probably won't believe this, but for those of you that were there at the start of Core 2 and that whole saga regarding my channel and the timing of those episodes releasing, well, I did mention it on my monthly roundup post as well, but I'm going to another wedding on the 1st of October. Things were getting pretty hairy for a second there. I couldn't believe they might drop another core on me again in the middle of a wedding, but thankfully we narrowly avoided it this time. Plus also it's not my own wedding this time, so it's a little less dire. But yeah, I really can't wait to get back to the usual routine of reacting to each episode live and then putting out an in-depth review where we go over the episode frame by frame and look at the differences between the source material and the anime, of which I'm expecting there to be quite a few, considering Core 3 is where we're anticipating more changes and more diversions from the source than ever before. Speaking of which, let's take a look at this teaser trailer they've released as well. I'm not sure what's in it. It looks like Ichibei's Futen Taisatsuryo is a major focus, or maybe the only focus. I don't know either way. Regardless, let's get into it. We're going to watch it now. As usual, we'll probably do a double take. We'll watch it a second time and then go over what we're actually seeing here. Although if it literally is just Futen Taisatsuryo, there might not be a huge amount to say. Right, let's go. Here we go. The latest 1000-Year Blood War Arc Part 3 teaser trailer. Okay, that appears to be it. I think that's literally it. It is just Futen Taisatsuryo, which is fine. That looked really, really awesome. I'm going to roll it back one more time. It's actually less than a minute. So let's watch it again. There's actually a couple of interesting things to pick up on here. Is it reverberating in the room they are playing this in? Because I can briefly hear people reacting to it as well. So either way, though, I think that is really, really awesome. There's not a huge amount to talk about, but we will go into it briefly anyway. This is obviously from the first episode, episode 27, or the first one of this part. Incantation that takes place beforehand, where Ichibei conjures just a wave of black energy and then begins doing a kind of ritualistic dance as black and white. So I wonder if that kind of is the result of Ichibei conjuring all of this darkness towards him, the result of his incantation, and then as he finishes, and then suddenly graves burst out of the ground. Like I said, the colours are inverted as opposed to the original chapter. The original chapter, the rings surrounding Ichibei on the floor are black because the actual area around him hasn't changed colour. But I like this version in the anime where the rings are white, the ink is white. I guess now the colours may just be inverted anyway, but that could be because he's supposed to be using Shirafude Ichimonji still, I guess, at this point, which would make some sense. Then you get like a rush of skulls that just rolls down from Ichibei, which makes sense. I believe the ability Futen Taisatsuryo is called the Mausoleum of Skulls or something like that, shown to us right now. You see from the end of the original chapter where he copies the same thing that Ichibei says because he can see ahead of time. And that shows Ichibei that, oh, actually, this is the real deal. He does know the future. Now, in the original chapter, that happens basically the moment Ichibei uses Futen Taisatsuryo, and that signals the end of the fight, essentially. Yhwach says to him, I told you I could see all, and at that point he kills him. So that makes me wonder if they're not actually, maybe they're not adding anything else to this fight. I think some people, myself included, wondered if there was going to be an extension to Ichibei versus Yhwach. It doesn't seem like that's the case, but it's not confirmed either, because there is a possibility that either way, though, I'm very impressed, and this trailer has got me hyped, which is obviously the point. I think it looks fantastic, and if the whole series looks like this, then we're going to be in really good hands for the kind of craziness that's yet to come. I can appreciate them not wanting to give too much away as well, hence why we haven't really seen anything outside of why this trailer's not showing us anything apart from this one moment. But yeah, I think it looks really, really cool. There's not an awful lot else to say, but it does look really, really fantastic. So yeah, those are the kind of main things from me. I'd love to hear what you think about this scene, of course, down in the comments below. Do you think they are doing justice to Ichibei's ultimate attack? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Maybe we will get to see Ichibei attempt to pull off Futen Taisatsuryo just before the fight ends, or maybe it really will end almost immediately after this sequence, because right at the end here is where Ichibei says to Yhwach, fall into a pitch black hell, and then Yhwach says the exact same thing at the exact same time, which after that is basically the end of the fight. So yeah, I'll be very interested to see if there is anything more to it than that. So that's really it regarding the anime. We have a release date at last, the 5th of October, and we've got a brief teaser trailer showing us Futen Taisatsuryo in action, or as close to as in action as we might get. Before we end, though, I want to briefly look at some other news that came out of this Crew Be Inside stream, which is some more gameplay from Bleach Rebirth of Souls, where Kubo himself was actually doing some fighting, which is really awesome. We got a really good look, a proper look at the game for really the first time, actually seeing some full matches on display. Like I said earlier, I haven't had the chance to sit down and watch the whole stream properly yet, but from what I have seen, I'm very, very excited. And it's great to finally get a full, unfiltered look, essentially, at the game itself. I'm not going to go into the whole thing. I'm not going to dive into this fully, but I have to say that I am very, very excited for this. I think it really does look fantastic. Visually, it continues to be awesome. It's really cool getting to see some Yoruichi gameplay. Of course, if you've been staying up to date with the game's socials, you'll know that they've been dropping character trailers left, right, and center, really. Including revealing characters like Gin, which is really awesome. You know, there was no doubt he was going to be in it, but still, it's really nice to see him, considering he hasn't been in any of the trailers really up until now. I will say, it is pretty telling, as we've talked about in the past regarding Rebirth of Souls, that they appear to have skipped over Orihime. I think she would have been in one of these trailers by now. The only one of the kind of close-knit friend group left is Renji, and I kind of think Orihime would have been with the Karakura gang. But regardless, I'm just going to have a quick look at this thread on the game, which is being compiled by Neonzel, I hope I pronounced that correctly, who has been fastidiously gathering everything about the game so far, which I really do appreciate, and just formatting it in a really fantastic way for people to have a look at. So here, Neonzel has kind of picked up on all the different stages that have been revealed in this kind of gameplay showcase here. So I just want to go over a couple of these and kind of give my thoughts as well. Now, the first one, there are 3 new stages on show here. The first one, Neonzel says they don't know where it's supposed to take place. Now, it is a bit of a strange one. It is a kind of rocky, mountainous area. There is a weirdly overcast sky. My immediate first thought when I saw this, and I don't think this is accurate at all, but my immediate first thought was it looks like how Waco Mundo was depicted way back in the Age of the Shinigami arc of the anime, where we kind of had that weird... It looked a little bit like this, a dreamscape of sorts, where the sky was moving strangely. I don't think it is that at all. But that would be kind of neat if it was like a weird throwback like that. If it's not that, it just kind of looks like it might just be a generic rocky battleground to me, because I don't recognise this at all outside of maybe that. Then there's Squad 3 barracks. They look really, really awesome. Of course, you see those in the source material when Toshiro fights Gin. He hunts him down at the Squad 3 barracks, basically. This whole section here is featured in that fight. And then there's another one that's in the Soul Society, but Neonzel says they don't know where it is. Again, to me, it looks like it might just be a generic Soul Society backdrop, with a really good view of the Senzai-Q and kind of the Seirete in general. But again, yeah, I think it just looks really, really fantastic. I don't have much to say on it other than I continue to be impressed, I continue to be excited, and I can't wait to see more. I'm most excited to see the continued expansion of the roster and to see who actually makes it into the game. That's one thing I am really, really excited to see. I guess it's possible. Somebody in the comments of this thread mentions that they think that the large Soul Society area, the third map, could be where Kenpachi fights Komamura and Tosen. Possibly, but I'm not entirely sure. It doesn't quite look like that to me, I don't think. I think it's just a generic Soul Society background, but it could be that. That would be really awesome. Either way, I think the game looks absolutely fantastic, and I absolutely can't wait to see more. At one point, we do actually see a match featuring Geen as well in this showcase, which is really cool. Geen just looks fantastic in this. I'm very excited to see more from him. I don't think this has been confirmed yet, but I am curious as to whether or not there will be like skins in this game, because it would be really awesome if Geen could wear his Waco Mundo outfit as well. Whether that will be a totally separate character or not, I'm not entirely sure. But either way, I think it does look fantastic. All right, everyone, but that's it for this very, very short news update. We do finally have a release date, confirmed release date for Part 3 of the 1000-Year Blood War Arc anime. We will be going up to Christmas once again, like we did with Part 1, it looks like, which is going to be very, very exciting for that kind of holiday season. And we do get a brief teaser trailer showcasing Futen Taisatsurio and not a lot else. But I am very, very optimistic. That's made me very excited because it really does look fantastic, and I just can't wait to see them continue to do justice to the 1000-Year Blood War arc. I'm really, really looking forward to it. And there is loads of gameplay as well for Rebirth of Souls. Like I said, I'm not going to go into it in too much detail. I don't really know an awful lot about fighting games in general, as I've said before, but I will leave the link to the Crew B Inside stream down in the description of the video if you want to go and check it out if you haven't done already. Please do let me know in the comments what you think of Bleach Rebirth of Souls, which I'm assuming at this point, by the way, is probably not coming out until 2025, since we haven't really heard. I mean, we've barely seen anything of the game, essentially. There must be so much of the character roster left to see, unless they're going to try and leave it as a surprise. I have no idea. All right, guys, until next time, thank you so much for watching. As always, I want to end the video by giving a massive shout out and saying a huge thank you to my supporters over on Patreon. I really do appreciate each and every one of you so very much. Your support does mean the world to me, and it does really help me out as well. If you want to support me over on Patreon, you can do just that by visiting the link in my description, by supporting me at the $1 tier. You can get your name in the credits of every single video just like this, and by supporting me at the $2 tier or higher, you can get every video I release absolutely free of baked-in YouTube ads. Alright guys, but until next time, I'll catch you later, and I'll see you then.